Hello everybody, it's Ronnie with Whip and Chain. Today we got a very pretty one. We're doing bauble covers. I used obviously Hobby Lobby yarn and my favorite clover hooks that are 4mm, and we're going to dive into this, but first I want to let you know the size bauble that I used for this. I don't know how to really quote measure them, but if I take my tape measure and I wrap it around my bauble, this is about 10 inches, centimeters, right? Inches, 10 inches, centimeters, I'm silly. 10 inches, and this is what I used to make this beautiful bauble. We're gonna dive right into it. Okay, let's dive into this bauble cover. I am using my favorite 4mm clover hooks. Picked up a new one today. I tell you, every time I go out, I buy another one. I'd strongly recommend these. And this is the other thing I strongly recommend. Hobby Lobby. Their yarn never splits. And I love it. Every project I've done, I've never had 1 ounce of an issue. The only thing that I did wrong at Hobby Lobby one day was buy 2 different lots of a color of a big project. And you know what? Went back. They let me fix the whole problem. No problem. They are the best. Anyway, and I'm not paid for this. I love their yarn. So for this bauble cover, I am using Christmas. Easy. So to do this, you will need a stitch marker. So let's dive into this. This is very easy, and it goes pretty fast, believe it or not. So I do recommend you start with a magic ring. If you don't want to do a magic ring, it's going to be really hard because you need to get it tight. But I would suggest you chain 3 and slip stitch to the first stitch, okay? And then after you slip stitch to the first stitch, just chain 1, okay? And then we're all together on the same spot. In this circle, it's going to be tight in the beginning, but it will get better real fast. So in the circle, I want you to put in 6 single crochets. And 6. Now, you can pull it a little tight, but don't close it yet, okay? We'll close it in a minute. So now, we're not to slip stitch. We're going to work into the rounds. All right? So in your first stitch, right there, I want you to put in 2 single crochets. And I would recommend that you mark your first one of the 2. And then each stitch, just put in 2 single crochets. This will land you at 12 single crochets. Ten, 11, and 12. Okay, now you should be able to pull that completely closed. So you should be able to see your stitches. Okay. So in your first stitch here that we have marked, I want you again to put in 2 single crochets in that first one. And after you get your first 2 in that one, I would mark your first one of the two. Okay. And the next one you put in 1 single crochet. The next one you put in 2. So you're going to rotate all the way around, 1 and then 2 in the next. We have to do some increases to be able to get this around the bobble. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you should end with a just 1 because we started off with an increase. Okay. So the next row, we're going to do another increase. So the first one will have 2 single crochets. You can put your stitch marker back in. And then in the next 2, you put in 1 single crochet. All right. And in the next one, you do 2. That's your increase. And then 1 in each in the next 2. And you're going to repeat this all the way around till you get back up here. And then we're going to keep doing our increase rows until you complete an increase in 1 and then 1 single crochet in 7. So this one we're doing increase in 1 and a single crochet in 2. So it's 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. The next row would be 2, then be 1, 1, and 1. Next row would be 2, 1, 1, 1, and 1. And you keep doing that until you got 2 single crochets and then 1 in 7 of them. All right, so this is gonna just, you're gonna do your natural increase until you complete row 7 with the increase and then 7 single crochets. Okay, when you do that, you will get this. Okay, see the shape of it? Pretty cool. Now we're not going to do any more increases, but we need to do 5 rounds of matching stitch for stitch. So that's bringing it up around your bobble. So 5 rows of matching stitch for stitch, and then I'll meet you right back here. Okay, look how adorable it is. Absolutely gorgeous. So you did your 5 rows matching stitch for stitch. Now we're going to take what we did and we're going to put it in reverse. So let me do the first round with you. Take out your stitch marker. We're going to do a decrease. So you go into your first stitch, you grab some yarn, bring it up. You go into your second stitch, bring some yarn, grab it up, and pull through all 3. That is a decrease stitch. And then we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then you do another decrease. Then you put a stitch, regular stitch in the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and another decrease, and then 7, and 7, another decrease, and then 7, and 7, and a decrease, and 7, and 7, and a decrease, and 7, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And if you look how quickly that brought it up. So each row decrease is just going to bring it up. Now, we're going to keep doing that. The next one would be a decrease and then 6. The next round would be a decrease and then 5, and so forth. But you have two choices with this. You can use a regular plastic or glass bauble. Just so disclosure, if you choose to use the glass, this cover does not necessarily will protect it. So I do recommend the plastic. Or you can use filling and you can stuff it yourself. Either way, it's going to work beautifully. So you just keep going down. So we did 7, you do 6, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. And then it's just do one round of decrease. But I'm going to meet you at the end so you can see. Okay. So this is where I stopped. I stopped at a decrease and 4 single crochets. Now before it gets much smaller, I do want to get my ball in there. As you can see, it's definitely the right answer. So now this is going to pull up. Don't stress. Worry about the big stuff. All right, so now I waited to put the ball in because it does get a little harder to crochet with the ball in there, but we got this. So now I'll take out my stitch marker. This is hard to do, not on your lap, so I'm going to show you what to do, and I'll meet you back. I'm going to do a decrease, just like that. And then I'm going to put my stitch marker back in. And then I'm going to do 3 single crochets. One, 2, and 3. And that's what we're going to do around. And then we're also going to do the round of 2. Okay, and I'll meet you at the round after you did the round of a decrease in 2. Okay, so I did the decrease in 2. Now I'm going to do a decrease in 1. It does get a little tight at the top, but it's so worth it. These are so pretty. And you can, Hobby Lobby has a spectrum of colors that you can choose from. that's a decrease. That's my puppy. And 1. Okay, so decrease. And 1. And I'll meet you around. Okay. Now, you can get rid of the stitch marker if you want. I would recommend you just to do a decrease until you're comfortable with your closure up at the top. And then that is it. So now, as you can see how this pattern went with the increases and all, you can do any size bauble that you really want to. There's nothing saying you can't do a smaller bauble, but just remember, give your increased rows a chance to wrap around, because I bet you thought this was going to be too big. So make sure it has time to increase and then pull back in, because you don't want any tighter than that. Like I said, you just do your decreases until you are content. And I think after this one, I think I'm going to be content. It's getting really hard to get in there. There. And you just chain 1. You cut. And then you weave in your ends. Okay. Isn't that beautiful? I absolutely love it. Well, thank you for joining us for number 7 in our series of 12 Days of Christmas. I hope you come join us on Facebook for WIP, for Work in Progress and Chain. And if you want to see anything or you have any ideas that you want us to do for you, let us know. We'll be more than happy to do everything we can to get those videos up and rolling. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy crocheting. And please help us out and hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom. Bye-bye.